Time now for Give Me the Headlines, presented by Hyundai. Have already had our breaking news. No more breaking news in this. This is more of just the community site. Oh, that's true. Yeah. It could happen at some point here. We're going to go NFC East edition. So our newspaper only covers teams in the NFC East here today. We'll start with the Eagles and Titans. And actually, we're going to give this headline to A.J. Brown. It was a revenge game for him. And so he had this to say about his TD celebrations versus his former team yesterday.
What was the inspiration behind the touchdown?
Today, I'm gonna have to give you this whooping, but I still love you though. So that's what the hug came in at the end.
So there's your headline.
I like him.
Today is a whooping. Tomorrow, I love you.
Yeah. Just say sometimes you gotta. I'm gonna give you this whooping today. I still love you. Well, you gotta take it like a man today. This is professional NFL football here.
That was a whooping. It was personal for him. You could tell.
Definitely. I mean, they had a good thing going on there. Tennessee's got to be. I mean, Mike Vrabel's got to be scratching his own head a little bit. Like, man, why did we trade that guy away just to not give him a $22 million contract? I mean, it's still. One of the biggest issues with their football team was we saw yesterday. They couldn't run the ball. Treylon Burks got hurt, and all of a sudden you go, well, they got nothing. They got nothing to throw to. Robert Woods is not the same person anymore. I don't think he's totally gotten healthy back from his knee surgery and ACL tear last year. But, yeah, he's special. And what's different with yesterday, first off, this is what we always talk about. The bind the Eagles put you in. There's not a weakness on their football team. And the Titans played defenses, at least it looked like, in my opinion, just stop the run. They weren't going to let the run or Jalen Hurts in that run game take off on them. So then, as you heard me say, I think they're one of the best zone coverage teams in football. Mm-hmm. They're good in man, but those corners are not like lockdown. And then Christian Fulton, their best corner, got hurt during the game. So now they're playing man-to-man with guys where one's a rookie in McCreary, who I like. And then, I'm blanking on 30, Avery. He's playing. And then they're not ready for that. They're not ready to be on an island with no help at all against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And the Eagles, they're amazing. They're just like, oh, you're in man-to-man. You go straight. I'll throw it. We'll catch it. Touchdown, Eagles. And, man, it just seemed like it was that all day long from Philadelphia.
8 touchdowns in the last 7 games for A.J. Brown. Had probably the best contested catch that we will see. I mean, I forget who the defensive back was. I mean, he was in his 30. Arms. He was hugging
Avery,
him.
Yeah.
He was the guy he was hugging after he whooped him. Who was it, Pete?
Trey Avery?
Trey Avery. It was right. Avery.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have he's looking back to the ball, wrapped up, probably pass interference.
No, I know.
I can't believe he still caught it.
I agree. It's amazing. He is. And then, Devontae Smith, the day he had to go on top of it. And again, you got to remember, I mean, Dallas Goedert, he's hurt right now. But, that was the first time all year where I felt like Philadelphia just said, okay, you want to do this, screw you. We're going to throw it every play then. And we don't care. And again, he's a very good deep ball thrower. I don't think you could play man-to-man that much against them, though. Coach Dungy, and Garrett have had this conversation a lot. And that yesterday, to me, that's the reason. You got to find ways to play some creative zones a little bit to, not let them just throw one-on-one jump balls. That's the biggest thing, because there's just not many teams that have the corners in football that are ever going to be able to stop those two. But the Eagles, between that and then the defense and their run defense, which we've all questioned, I mean, there was nowhere for Derrick Henry to run. That was an impressive, dominant victory against the Tennessee Titans.
Second week in a row. It was the woe is me, is what Derrick Henry was saying. See how I did that?
Yeah.
11 carries, 30 yards. None longer than 6. So the Bengals last week were able to contain him. And Bengals good defense.
Yeah.
Eagles good defense.
Yeah, that's right.
But still,
yeah,
you'd figure maybe Derrick Henry is a guy that even with a good defense, is going to have his big runs. Has not been the case the past couple weeks.
No, I think that's where Tennessee maybe is slightly different than the last few years when we've seen them be the number 1 seed or when we saw them go to the AFC Championship game. I don't think this O-line, and we hit on this a little bit earlier in the year, I don't think it's as dominant as it's been. It's still good. But I don't think, the year they went to the AFC Championship game or early on last year, you went, oh, there's 9 guys on the box. matter. They're going to block it the right way and just road grade people out of the way, and they'll still get 100 yards rushing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't feel that way right now. And that's, again, where, like, the Treylon Burks injury was I thought, a big moment in the football game.
What'd you make of that play?
Yeah, you want to
Marcus Epps.
Yes. That bothers me. First off, it doesn't bother me. I defend the defensive players almost always because it's impossible to play defense anymore. You can't tackle the quarterback. You can't cover the receivers. How about this? I know, stay on task here, and then I'll go to it. A.J. Brown. No, sorry. The Marcus Epps diving. He launched at Treylon Burks' head, right? Penalty. Mm-hmm. Good job by the refs. My issue was this. I watched the game on Thursday night, the Patriots. I watched Mac Jones throw the ball over the middle to Jacoby Myers. I watched Jacoby Myers lower his head. I watched Damar Hamlin turn his body to the side and not try to hit the guy. They hit each other, and they kicked Damar Hamlin out of the fucking game. This was as egregious as it gets. It'll be on a reel of what not to do next year in training camp for all teams to watch. Just a flag. And it's just the inconsistencies. And the thing is that jumps out to me, and Pete and I were talking about this yesterday, is it just seems like in standalone games, they kick you out. 1 o'clock, part of the 8-game circus, not a big deal. And that bothers me too. But that bothers me. There's inconsistencies there. Let alone, listen, all the roughing the passers and all of that. But, I just don't like that aspect of the inconsistency. And, I thought Marcus Epps, by the letter of the law on this one, should have been thrown out. And that's where it just bothered me a little.
Yeah, so Pete did the research.
Yeah.
4 players have been ejected for illegal blocks hits this season. 3 of those were in primetime games, to your point. Mm-hmm. The other was in a 4:25 game, so none of the 1 o'clock games.
That's a
bunch
prime.
of other games
4:25. We can say what we want. It's a primetime game.
Fewer
it's the game
games.
that does the biggest rating every week.
There are a lot of people, and I looked on social media. I was like, what do you think of that hit? What do you think of that hit, right? Marcus Epps. He does go in with his shoulder. We've seen these plays made in the past. Maybe 10 years ago, we wouldn't even be talking about it.
No.
It was really unfortunate that Treylon Burks got hurt in it. But like you mentioned, it's textbook on what the NFL is not going to allow
right.
next
And I
year.
didn't even think he went in with his shoulder.
I don't think it was malicious intent.
No,
really,
I think you're just these guys are playing football. Exactly right. It's hard.
But it's a play that has to be taken off the board.
I think it's where it's got to be taken off is I do think he led with his head. He hit him with the crown of his helmet right in his face, right? So that to me was like the most egregious thing. And that to me is where, you can fix that. And to Marcus Epps, I want to be like, dude, that's how you get hurt.
Exactly.
Like, don't do that.
Exactly.
Right? It's a win-win for all when you don't do that.
Yep.
And that is a fixable thing. Like you said, you can turn your body and still make that hit and lead with the shoulder and do that. I thought it was a clear launch of the head first.
Or you have to get there quicker if you're a defensive back.
Sure.
And if you're not in position to make a play without launching your head into someone else's head, then you missed the play already.
Well, we've lost. Yes. Agreed. And I don't even know if they're going to let you off the hook on that one. Because that goes back to the Patriots-Bills one with Damar Hamlin. And this is my biggest – we have a fundamental flaw in football right now. And it really bothers me as a guy that's a traditionalist and I love football and I love the game where – okay, let's go back to that Bills-Patriots game. Here we are, not great spacing by the Patriots receivers. The Bills are coached and perfectly in the right places, doing the right thing. The guy literally turns his body to try to hit him with the shoulder. Yeah, he gets the penalty. He gets kicked out, right? If he doesn't hit the guy or do nothing, he just lays up, he becomes a social media meme. And like, what a wimp that guy is. He just lets people catch the ball over the end. We can't be a good super. So he gets right. Like, it'll become Tyrann Mathieu, who's become that a few times this year. So you become that. But really, you might have been just going, well, I want to get a penalty or get a rule. But within that, we're gonna reward the bad play call by the Patriots and the horrible decision by Mac Jones and give you 15 yards. Everything about that is fundamentally wrong in football. Everything. We're rewarding the dumber and the like. We're rewarding the bad. I guess it's just I can't spit it out.
I get it.
And that bothers me. And then there's Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier, who coached the play perfectly, taught their guy to hit the guy perfectly, real, and the other guy lowered his head, and you kicked him out, and you gave them 1st and goal? What?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that, NFL. It's annoying. Let alone still the roughing the passer calls, let alone back to our Philadelphia-Tennessee game here. A.J. Brown, he catches the out and up for a touchdown, right? I wish we could show this right now. We're going to talk about this on Wednesday, and we're going to make a social video. He double moves, right? Yep. The guy goes on the out route with him.
Yeah.
He turns up and runs over the DB.
I know.
And this is the problem right now. This is what the NFL has done. Everybody thinks it's pass interference on the defense. I mean, literally the announcers in the game were like, I don't know, was that bull? What?
Yeah.
And then they came around. The defender has the right to be where he is.
To stand there.
He's not supposed to go like, ole, go.
Yeah, well, A.J. Brown goes, hey, no, my pattern goes right through your body. Get out of the way. That's how we drew it up.
That was offensive pass interference.
It was.
But we have gotten so numb with any contact, we just go defense. The defense has the right to be on the field.
He took a charge, basically. It is
he
like,
literally he has the right to be at the spot. It's the name of football. It's the controlling of the spot. I mean, that's what it is. And, so that just bothers me. And I didn't mean to go on that tangent, but I think we do have to show some of these plays on social media.
It's super important, and the head's got – I mean, you've heard it over, right? You take the head out of the game, right? Take the head out of the game. And some of it is taking the defender off the hook because when I played, I had never played at a high level, but I got hurt more playing defense than I did offense.
Sure.
You're throwing your body out there.
Stick your head in there and do that
right?
stuff.
Some of this is to save the defender from having to put their own body in harm's way.
They don't care about the defender. That's what they've told me. It's only the health and safety of the quarterback and the receivers. Everybody else, they don't care about.
Yeah.
And that should be their new logo in the NFL.
Well, in basketball, we've decided, like, if a guy's going for a dunk and you've been beat, you can't just take out his legs and throw him to the ground. Because some people in football would say, well, what else is he supposed to do at that point? Just let him go dunk it? It was like, we've made the decision that you can't just be dangerous with someone else's body. And so I think that's what the NFL is trying to do, and I think that's what they have to get to, and hopefully they do.
They're overdoing it in what I guess is what I'm saying.
In some respects, they are.
Right.
Yeah. But I see the end goal is trying to eliminate these plays.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
I think that's big. Another big win for the Eagles in that one. That was impressive. So was the Cowboys win on Sunday Night Football with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth on the call. They obliterate the Colts, although it was a close game until the fourth quarter.
It's crazy.
And then it became a giant blowout. Your headline for the Cowboys' 54-19 win over the Colts.
Yeehaw! Ride 'em, Cowboy! Woo-wee! We got to break in this young Colt. We got to show him who the boss is. I'm the Cowboy. That's the Colt.
Yeah.
Whoopsh, 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 whoopsh.
Yeah. They got whipped.
They got whipped.
I still love them.
You got to teach these young horses. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And they're just grooming them. They're making them tougher for the future.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's not that young. He's not that young anymore.
You're right.
And this was also the main headline of this game was basically it was another scoregami out there. That's a huge deal. That's all that matters out there.
That's all anybody can talk about at the end of the game. Scoregami.
Never happened before. 54-19. It is the 1,074th unique final score in NFL history. And I'm getting kind of sad because I think we're running out. We have to be running out, right? At a certain point, like, are my kids going to get to enjoy scoregami? Probably not. Right?
We're getting down to the end. The whole 2-point conversion and all that stuff is really, you're right. It's going to, scoregami, it's going to be gone in about 2 years.
It's almost over.
Right.
So enjoy it now. Or if you hate it, just know that in a couple of years it will be gone.
Yes.
But this was, wow. Pretty impressive against a Colts team that has kept games close against good opponents.
Yes, they have.
Like, they have been in games. They have talent on the defensive side. Offensively, they're not fun to watch at all. But for the Cowboys able to do that at the end, what'd you make of it?
Well, I mean,
the game getting out of hand like that.
Well, I think the big thing to me is just the. Again, I think it shows you how special the Cowboys are and how many playmakers they have just across the spectrum on all three phases. That's where I find the Cowboys incredible. The offense can make plays. They can also kind of grind it out and run the ball. The defense is just constant pressure, people at the line of scrimmage, blitzes, dropping out, all of that. It's just controlled chaos. Even though their special teams wasn't anything last night, they put most weeks with Turbin back at the kick returner, or it's John Fossil, the special teams coach, is always looking for a trick play. They put tremendous pressure on you that way. And that, to me, was just kind of the story, is they just – the Colts wilted away in it a little bit there in the fourth quarter. where, yeah, the game has to go a certain way. They got to run the ball. Our defense has got to keep us in it. Matt Ryan's got to be able to get the ball out of his hands quickly and all of that. But it's like Cowboys got up 28-19. And, the Colts, who did some good things, but, felt like they were hanging on by a thread at times on the offensive side of the ball where you're going, oh, man, they almost got Matt Ryan. Or, oh, gosh, that ball was in the air forever. That was almost an interception. It's just the dam broke. I mean, that's what – and they just shows you where their defense and Pollard and all of a sudden they rip off a few plays and you're like, holy shit, we were in this game like 7 minutes ago. And all of a sudden 9 plays later on offense, we're losing by 30? Like, what the hell happened? I just think that speaks to the elite level of talent Dallas has. And that's where they're scary, and they're elite. They're definitely one of the best teams in football. Yep. It's not easy to win by 37 in Minnesota or by – what do they win by, 30?
It's impossible 35? To do that math right now.
To win by 35 against the Colts?
Yeah.
It's the NFL. You don't see that happen unless you're kind of an elite football team, and that's what they are.
It was a revenge game for Malik Hooker. 15th overall pick in the 2017 draft by the Colts, had an interception, had a fumble return for a touchdown. There was bad news, though, for the Cowboys. Anthony Brown reportedly out for the season.
I know.
With a torn Achilles. So OMPT asks you thoughts about Kelvin Joseph or Nashawn Wright filling in for Anthony Brown in Dallas. How big of a blow is this for them?
Well, it is. I mean, I think where it's big is the fact that, like, they've already lost Jordan Lewis, who's a really good nickel cover corner. And now you lose Anthony Brown, who's a really damn good corner, too. He gets overshadowed a little bit by Trayvon Diggs and some of the other stars in that defense. But damn, he's good. And as we've talked about before, they're a team that, they play on the edge a little bit. They're not afraid to go, well, shit, we're going to blitz 6 here, and we're going to play man-to-man, and we're going to put pressure on you. We're going to make you, have to make a throw into tight coverage in the pocket with a lot of people around you. That chops a leg off a little bit. But Kelvin Joseph, to me, is a guy, I loved him coming out of Kentucky. I think he'll be ready to go here. I wouldn't be shocked if he kind of, and this is no disrespect to Anthony Brown, if now he gets his opportunity, get some off-the-field issues early in the year to where he settles in and maybe they don't miss it. And then we'll see about Wright. I don't know a ton about Wright. I need to evaluate him a little bit more, but he looked good last night from what I saw. And they seem to have an eye for that position there in Dallas, so it wouldn't shock me, if they kind of surprised us. And then 26 Bland, he was the other guy that jumped out. And Bland he's a rookie. I'm forgetting the school. I want to say he went to Fresno. I'm going to find it before anybody here. Yeah, he went to Fresno State. I remember watching him coming out in the draft too. He was a good player. He got good size, can kind of do it all. So, again, it stinks, but I don't think it's not a deal breaker. I don't look at it and go, oh, wow. At least they got a little depth and talent at the position.
And you got a good pass rush, which makes life a little bit easier for those guys.
Great
back
pass
there.
rush. That's right.
And it was very difficult for the Colts to do anything. And Jeff Saturday, it was fun while it lasted, right? The chances of him retaining this job. Not that, there's no shame in losing to the Cowboys.
No.
Or the Eagles.
I don't think this even matters. I don't.
What do you mean?
I think he's still in the inside track to be the head coach next year, just by the feel of it. Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to be able to sit there and go, wait, it was 21-19. It was the third quarter. My quarterback is old, and it's over. He can't throw the ball. He can't even take a hit and hold on to the ball.
They go, you were the one that put him back in.
He goes, well, yeah, the other guy's even worse. So, I don't know if I would say that this just ends that conversation.
Okay.
All right. That's at least my thought.
Sure.
Maybe you do.
Who knows? No, I don't know. Who knows if they win out from here on? Who knows? Maybe. Right.
I think there's still a lot of positives about what he's doing.
I thought he would have needed to have made the playoffs. Or
to keep it
one game away, like came down to the final week to maybe keep it.
I don't get that sense. I don't. I think if they continue to kind of just be competitive and play the right way and are tough, I think that I think Irsay wants this to work.
Yeah.
And I think, again, there was still a lot of positives about last night. There was. I know it's totally disaster in the fourth quarter there, but they weren't. That defense is still damn good.
Yeah.
And they hung in there for a long time and helped out. And, unfortunately, it's just Matt Ryan can make no more high-level throws. it's a little bit like, what were the big plays last night? Just throw it up, right, to Alec Pierce?
Yeah.
Pretty much, right?
Your guy, Alec Pierce.
Yeah, my
Did
guy,
you see
Alec
Louis
Pierce.
Riddick tweet during the game?
No, what?
He goes, should have been thrown to Alec Pierce all season, in all caps.
Yeah.
He's a big Alex Pierce guy, too.
He's their best one-on-one threat they have. It's just with, he's not as fast maybe as Paris Campbell, but his size and speed combination makes him really tough. He's big out there. You could see his frame, 6'3", close to 220. Yeah, he's legit.
Scored a touchdown, was not enough for the Colts to win. Cowboys got a big win. One of the best things about the NFL, we have winners and losers. It's not like the World Cup out here, right? We don't have draws or ties. We got winners and losers, which takes us to our next game, the Commanders and the Giants. Oh, no. It was a 2020 tie in this one. Your headline for this one is?
Taylor Teineke ties the Giants.
Yeah, it happened. We had a tie. Which, by the way, I was actually mad at the end of this game. I think both coaches were playing for a tie, and I didn't like that. I think they were both playing fairly conservative at the end there. There were some short fourth downs. I know it was right around midfield for both teams, but, I mean, you're borderline playoff teams for both of them.
I know.
Have some guts. That made me mad. I was angry. What were your thoughts?
I'm always angry, too. I don't like ties. It's like kissing your sister or your brother, whatever, right? The old saying there.
Right.
Or your cousin, whatever. One of those family members, all right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, my family's from Kentucky. We kiss cousins down there.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm with you there. But we have seen these ties come in very handy. Yeah. It's definitely better than losing the football game. Like, I would think Seattle was pretty disappointed yesterday that one of those teams didn't lose, right? They're looking at it going, now we're going to lose a tiebreaker, to those teams because they tied. Again, it's still better than a loss, and I think they kept that in the back of their minds. Just that little, that little fact of this tie. We've seen a lot of teams get in the playoffs because of that tie over the last decade. It was a weird game. It was like Washington controlled it early. Giants made a few mistakes, right? Giants had the turnover early on. But then, Giants kind of got back control of the football game.
Heineke was making some mistakes.
He did not throw the ball great. Missed some open receivers throughout the day. That was one of those where we kind of came away, and Pete and I were always keeping a pretty close eye on the Giants game, and Morgan too, and we were a little bit like, oh yes, Heineke missed him. Yes, I mean there was definitely some moments of that.
Yeah.
But then there we were in the fourth quarter, and it felt like
you're saying the game got gross and close.
Well, there's something to it.
Taylor
it's almost
Heineke's
like your
man.
Minnesota theory. It's like, hey, that's cool and all. I don't know if it's going to win multiple playoff games,
correct?
Right? But it's cool in the regular season and all of that. But yes, they just hang around. But it felt like the Giants had control of the game. They get the strip sack. The Giants go down. They get the strip sack on Heineke. They get the TD pass from Daniel Jones. They're up 20-13, right? It's looking good. Here, the Giants make another stop. They get the ball back. They get a first down. They're in fringe field goal. They're in field goal territory. And John Feliciano decides to flex on people. He flexes on people. It gives them a personal foul. He got sacked, right? Daniel Jones on third down, maybe. Something happened negative play-wise. They got kicked out of field goal position altogether. And now instead of us going up 23-13, all of a sudden it's Taylor Teineke time. Taylor Teineke time.
Yeah.
And he made the plays. It's unreal. It's all of a sudden, it's like, hey, the game's crazy, and it's at the end.
Fourth down.
All of a sudden, I throw balls into bullseyes all of a sudden.
Eludes two rushers.
Eludes two rushers.
Curtis Samuel. I mean, that was a great play. It was an awesome play.
It was. There was a lot of good plays by him. Him and McLaurin down the stretch. Samuel and McLaurin down the stretch. And I was happy to see Samuel. He's from Brooklyn. Sure, he had a lot of family there. Yeah, they made some big plays
Samuel's
for the Commanders.
been very good. And my guy in the draft, too, was Jahan Dotson. Man, Washington's my team. I love Heineke, his magic at the end of games.
Dotson's touchdown at the end. That was special, right?
Great
with a little catch, spins off the guy, makes him miss, touchdown.
Yeah, you mentioned it wouldn't have been possible without some miscues by the Giants there. The Feliciano taunting. Darius Slayton had a drop. Then they had an overtime.
Oh, I know. The Darius Slayton drop, too. That was weird.
There. And then 3rd and 2, both running backs ran into
each other. They made some mistakes. Exactly right.
I was like, this game, I know this probably helps both of you in your pursuit of the playoffs. I think this should eliminate you.
Well, I'll say this. It actually encouraged me with the Giants a little bit. I did not think we could hang in there. Like, I thought Washington, as the game went on, would kind of show that they're a better football team than we are. But I mean, again, Darius Slayton's dangerous. Daniel Jones at one point was like 19 for 20. I mean, he's playing really good. And then the running game, again, that he brings to the table is special. There were some encouraging things for the Giants there. Maybe they won't, wilt away here down the stretch like I thought. We'll see where it goes. But, yeah, I will say I think the tie comes in handy for these guys.
7-4-1 are the Giants. Commanders 7-5-1. Hopefully they never tie again. That was Give Me the Headlines, presented by Hyundai.
They play each other in 2 weeks, so maybe they'll tie again.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Washington has a bye week and then plays the Giants again. That's kind of crazy, right?
So they're preparing now. They're like, hey, just extend it. What if they just carry this game over? You play the next one for 2. You go, let's carry this one over.
Yeah, I like that.
What if you just did that?
Double or nothing here.
They should do that. Get together, and that should be a new rule. If you play the next time, you can go double or nothing.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.